Ah, ja, sehr gut. Hallo, ihr sexy beasts, and welcome to YARRRR Thunder. We have finally listed in the mighty KRIEGSMARINE, and they've given us a boat. Shit. Ah, but yes, the boat closed beta test has finally started. Well, or as they say it, the pre-beta tests. We all know it's a closed beta test for all the early enlisters. So, we're going to take a look at the Schnellboot 100. Yeah, this thing has a lot of guns. Sadly, they are mostly just 20mm cannons. That being said though, they have torpedoes. Big torpedoes. I'm not really going to bore you with the raw stats. All you really need to know is that this thing is very long, very big, and has lots of 20mm cannons. That being said, they are a bit, well, how do I put this? Not very good against other ships, if that makes any sense. We should probably go for the controls first. So, as is with the tanks, you control the boats with WASD. However, there is a slight difference in boats. Instead of having to hold down the W key to go forward, as you do in tanks, here it's like a, how do you call it? You know, like the thing in the Titanic where you go full forwards or full backwards. That's essentially how you control the forwards and backwards movement of the boat. Sadly, that's a bit, well, it takes a bit getting used to. I have problems with that myself, and it's incredibly hard to actually try and find the stop setting when you're in the middle of the battle. But it's definitely possible. And also, one thing you have to keep in mind is that the rudder is, of course, behind the ship's screws that are underwater, which means that if you're going backwards and you want to go a certain way, you essentially have to do it like a tank. Imagine this thing had tracks. Right, what else do we have? Okay, so in this case, and keep in mind this is not something that every boat has, we have 2 torpedo tubes on the front, which we can activate by binding it to a torpedo key. Now here's something you have to keep in mind. This is something that probably is not going to be set by default, so I definitely recommend going into the controls, into the ship control, and set some keys from here. If you want to control your weapons individually, you have to select this here, fire from all guns. Of course, they're going to fire all guns at the same time, including the AA guns. I myself have set my anti-aircraft guns to be able to be fired separately, so I don't have to waste my main armament on aircrafts that are approaching. And this is what you don't have selected at first, which is launch torpedoes, which most of the boats have. Actually, not most of the boats, but some of them do. And you're definitely going to need those for one very simple reason. The boats in this game are quite tanky. You're not going to take out boats by simply killing all of the crew. I mean, look at the bottom left corner right now. This Schnellboot has 22 crew members. Yeah, the KRIEGSMARINE has given me the responsibility of 22 German bastards. And in most of the cases, the boat is not going to die when all the crew members die, or rather, the boat is going to die before all of your crew members die. No, instead, how you sink a boat is dependent on the damage to the hull. Essentially, there are 3 sections of damage to the hull that you can damage. We have the front section, we have the middle section, and we have the tail section. If all 3 of those sections get black, then the boat finally dies. As you can see over here. So in this case, this guy has the back and the middle portions of the hull already black, and since we focused on the on the front of the hull, he finally went down. So, as much as with tanks, you cannot simply shoot the same area over and over again. Oh, that's a Project 1124, that's not good. One little point of advice here. That Project 1124, the damn Russian boat, that thing has 2 76mm cannons. They pretty much just took the turrets of the T-34 with the 76mm cannons to just put it on the boat. And also, if you're going to drive it, APHE doesn't really work too well on that gun because the boats have so little armor. But yeah, if you are going to fire some HE at those guys, or at any boats when you are blah blah blah. Oh, scheiße, that's another Schnellboot. Hopefully he doesn't see me. We got the crit into him. The Fermil has 40mm cannons, which is not very good. Oh, by the way, I don't know if you have noticed this, but when you are moving forwards, you have to compensate for the lead you have to do. Essentially, the bullets will maintain the velocity that your boat has. So if you're facing straight forwards and firing straight forwards, it's not going to do too much of a difference. But in case you are facing sideways and you find yourself, well, oh scheiße, oh scheiße, oh scheiße, oh scheiße, we are on fire! Hans! Günther! Günther, get, oh scheiße. So what I was trying to say before we got so rudely interrupted is you cannot fire at the same area over and over and over again. This is not going to work. You have to try and damage all of the hull as much as you can. Now, there are certain components inside of the boat that you can also target. For example, at the start of the engagement, one-on-one is always a good idea to go for the crew that is on the deck first, because that's going to disable the guns, which means that he won't be able to fire back at you. Alternatively, if you want to get a torpedo hit in, it's always a good idea to try to go for the engines if you have any kind of AP ammunition. HE is not going to do much. It's pretty much just going to explode on the hull of the ship and damage the crew. But if you go for the engines, you can immobilize them in the water and then finally get them with some torpedoes. Ramming is kind of a thing in this game, but I think you have to keep an eye out on the weight difference between you and your enemy. I had a situation early on where an enemy tried to ram into my boat sideways and he killed himself. Oh, it seems like we got the family with the fire, yeah. Now, contrary to tanks, you do not need fire extinguishers. The crew is going to extinguish fires by itself. But it's not going to be quite as fast as on the tanks. So you want to try and avoid taking fire, is what I'm trying to say. Now when it comes to leading the guns, as I said before, you have to lead for the speed that you are traveling in comparison to your enemy, also for the distance. But thankfully, you do not have to point the gun upwards. That is all already taken care of by the gunners themselves. So essentially, you only have to level your green aiming circle with the boat, with the enemy boat. Okay, I think we are just about in the right range to get some torpedoes off, and one shot. Yes, in case you don't want to use your guns, which is something you want to try and avoid with the Schnellboot, since the KRIEGSMARINE has only fitted this thing with 20mm anti-aircraft guns, you can actually use the torpedoes, and torpedoes are always a one-shot kill, which is very satisfying. Alternatively, you also have the depth charges. Now, depth charges explode after a bit, and essentially only work if... oh scheiße, oh scheiße, oh scheiße, hold on. They only really work if they are right behind you, kind of like, well, really like anti-ship mines, if that makes any sense. But they are not very good when it comes to, oh scheiße, to hitting things that are not behind you, essentially. Now, thankfully, you cannot blow yourself up with the mines, but okay, we are right fucked right now. Günther, get the fire extinguisher! Ah, nine. Please don't torpedo me, Mr. Schnellboot. You have the same KRIEGSMARINE. Günther, why are you so drunk right now? Ah, scheiße. Actually, I think he might not be able to quite get us there. Ah, yes, and you do have a gun review, by the way. I completely forgot to mention this. Now, sadly, you cannot really... Scheiße. I do have to thank the KRIEGSMARINE here. They do seem to have an infinite supply of boats. Which is sehr gut. What I was trying to say is, yes, sadly, when you are in the gunner view, you can't really know where your boat is heading whilst in this gunner view, because the bottom left icon of the ship does not rotate around like it does with the tanks, which is very aggravating. I'm actually not quite sure if there's an option for that in the interface. I should probably look it up before I spew all this bull-scheiße. But you get the point. It's not a feature by default. Ah, we have a PT, a Project 1124. That's the bastard with the T-34 turrets. Now, as long as he's facing right towards us, it's going to be hard for him to actually get guns on target. There's a torpedo flying by. That's not going to work, comrade. But essentially, that thing is one of the most armored ones, and quite hard to take down, really. Ah, scheiße. I completely forgot about the minimum activation distance of the torpedoes. Now, oh, scheiße, he has his guns right towards us. Run away! Oh, God, that's engines. Maybe with the death charges? Oh! I think he's beached. I think he's beached. Yes, he is. I cannot control my ship anymore. Ah, he's still firing at me. He's still firing at me. Ah, scheiße. Ah, scheiße. We cannot even get guns on target. We are dead. French Commando, you're in a Schnellboot. You should be shooting at the Ruskies, goddammit. Oh, please work. Please work. Yeah. And I think we can actually shoot him. Yes. Come on, come on. Get the gun down. Get the gun down. Oh, no. We have to reload. Yes, the guns sadly do have magazines and you do have to reload them, which is not very good. Ah, no! As you can see, yes, there are aircraft in the game as well. We do have combined battles. Now, I do not know if we are going to see game modes with tanks together with aircraft in the same... not with aircraft, but with boats in the same map. I personally would really love to see that, just for the troll potential of just torpedoing a mouse or something like that. Not the mouse. I should not say the mouse, since the mouse is kind of my baby. Rather a T-10M. Yes, we have to remove Russian bias with the torpedoes. But it would be really fun to see that. And I can see tanks maybe functioning on this map, since you do have the ridges and the coastlines. Maybe you have some flags around here. But for now, we have no actual confirmation if we are going to see tanks together with the boats in the same map. But we do have aircraft. Now, the aircraft are very easy to take down. Those boats are essentially just anti-aircraft boats. They have lots and lots of guns. Thankfully, our... Oh, come on, that was pretty much a direct hit. I was just about to say the bombs are mostly one-shot kills against the boats since they have so little armor. But it did not quite work out. Now we do have to keep in mind, in case of the Project 1124, it's not too much of an issue since the T-34 turrets occupy a lot of space and it does not have enough space for the proper anti-aircraft guns. But on other boats like the Schnellboot, like the Kriegsmarine Schnellboot, that thing is bristling with guns. It even has essentially a Kugelblitz turret on the back with 4 20mm cannons firing out of the same gun. It's deadly. It is very, very deadly. Oh, Ivan, you wish. You wish. Now, sadly, this map is still in very early access, which means you don't really get points where you can rearm your boats. You don't really get an airfield either. This is essentially an event mode. You cannot really select boats from your hangar either, so no modifications, no nothing like that. Essentially, the way you select your boat is by spawning into the event with a certain nation. At the moment, Japan still has no boat available for this game mode. Oh, I'm actually surprised we did not wreck ourselves there. So it seems like this 250kg bomb is not quite big enough to one-shot those boats, at least not from the front, no. Now the Project 1124 is pretty heavily crippled. He will not be able to go away from there. So I'm going to try and see if we can maybe drop a bomb on him. As the bomb is reloaded. Come on, come on. If it's the last thing we do. Bombs out! We did not get the kill. Günther, I think we are drowning. But yet, that is essentially the boat mode. There's not much in the game just now. Do keep in mind this is a pre-beta test, okay? There's still lots of stuff to figure out, but it's fun. It's a nice variation on what War Thunder has to offer. It's definitely going to be something interesting to play around with, and I cannot wait until we get the full tech tree so we can actually go through the boats. Now I have my eye on a certain, I think it's an American boat. It's called the Dark MGB. I'll let you figure out why I want that thing. Oh, something I forgot to mention. Something I forgot to mention completely. you do actually have towing hooks, so if you do get stranded, like it's this poor fellow over here in this American bastard spy boat, you can actually get towed away. Alright, so final conclusions on the boat mode. Yeah, try and take down the hull, try and take down the gun. Actually no, try and take down the gunners first on the deck, then go after the hull. Don't shoot the same section of the hull over and over again, to try and spread your damage. With different guns, you're going to do different kinds of damages and different fire rates. I do quite like the torpedo boats, like the Schnellboot. They can simply just bum rush right into them. Do keep in mind that the torpedoes have a minimum activation distance, so you cannot simply random and then drop your torpedoes. You have to drop the torpedoes beforehand. You do have the depth charges, which can be used against boats that are following you around. And then you got the Project 1124 with the big 76mm cannons, which, by the way, do not use APHE on those cannons. It is not worth it. The boats have very little armor in most regards, so it's always better to just go with the HE shells. Also, I would suggest not going with the British boats, even though the British nation is the only one that actually gets an aircraft that has torpedoes, which is the Beaufort, if I'm not mistaken, or the Blenheim. But the boat itself is rather underwhelming. The 40mm Bofors cannon that it carries only fires HE rounds, which don't really do enough penetration to go through even these very lowly armored boats. And finally, do feel free to follow the channel for more ship content as it comes out. Sadly, today is not going to be any more boats. The beta test phase is ending in about 40 minutes, so we're going to try and get some more footage, but essentially all you need to know for now. So, have fun, get your boats, like this video if you did, subscribe if you're new around here, and I'll see you in the next video. My name has been MikeGoesBoom, and join the KRIEGSMARINE.
You can lift your head up to the sky, take a deeper breath and give it time. You can walk the path among the lines, with your shattered frame of mind. Instead you could always stay, we can wait right here and play, until somehow you can find